What is up, everybody? Me llamo Jake Peters, mi amigo Frederico. If you guys don't speak fluent Spanish like I do, that means that my name is Jake Peters, and this is my friend Fred Oakman, who is rejoining the podcast for the first time in, a few weeks now? Maybe a month? He came back because we're going to talk about Resident Evil Requiem here. We've both been playing it a little bit. And also to just touch base and see how things are going and maybe talk about some news, this, that, or whatever. Like we always talk about on this show, we have a Patreon if you want to go over there. It's the one and only $1 club. I think it's, PSS is awesome, or patreon.com/PSS is awesome, I think, right? Yeah. And then it's only $1 a month. You get a free sticker in the mail, and we'll shout you out on the show. And I guarantee you that you can find that much money in your couch. I'm sorry, I have a cat who's doing this thing right now where she just pisses on everything, and it's really upsetting me. And I thought she was peeing on something. So,
El gato leaky.
yeah. So, anyway, where was I at? Oh, yeah. Jump on. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on whatever else you want to watch us on or listen to us on. And I think you can actually only watch us on YouTube, but you can listen to us almost anywhere. Leave some comments, email us, do whatever you want, interact with us. That's kind of cool. But anyway, outside of that, let's get into the show. Fred, how you doing? We haven't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah. Hola, me llamo es Federico Oakman. Todos los días. Bien. I'm doing all right. I see. No, everything's good, man. Just the Clink doesn't have,
Doesn't have good Wi-Fi?
No. I've not been on good behavior, so.
That we should probably clarify for those that are watching the video and wondering why there's still a stick figure of Fred on the screen. This is an audio only call. We're not doing a video call for Fred because he's having some computer trouble. So,
yeah, that is true. Yeah, the Mac giving me problems today, but no, it's good to be back. I don't know that I'll be back next week per se, but I'm happy to jump in and talk games with you today for this episode. Yeah, for the inquiring minds, we'll get into it down the road. No need to really waste people's time by talking about my stupid personal shit that's going on, but I'm okay. Everything is well. I've just been very, very busy and inundated with things. Life throws you curveballs sometimes, and you got to navigate them. So I'm just navigating some shit, but all is well.
So
don't worry about me.
Outside of the weirdness that's going on in your life right now, have you done anything cool personally outside of games? Like, have you played any shows or gone to any concerts or anything?
Yeah, we just played at West Side Bowl on Friday.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, that place is awesome. It's a bowling alley. It reminds me a lot. We used to play this place in Chicago. We played there once. I talk like I've been there a million times. It was called the Fireside Bowl. Real notable music venue. And this place in Youngstown is like the premier punk rock whatever venue, and it's a bowling alley. They've got two stages. They have an upstairs, like a regular main floor stage, and a stage downstairs. If you or Sarah have not been there, you must go. They have great shitty pizza. I had a pierogi pizza while I was there. I've been working out a little bit, honestly. I mean, that's what prison life does to you. But so we played a show on Friday, and then One of My Land played again on Saturday at Lavery's, and we met this band called Twist and Rive, and they're from Hanover, Pennsylvania, old punk rock dudes that reached out to us that put together a couple shows and asked One of My Land to jump on with them. So that's why my voice sounds a little weird. Played some longer sets, and it's been going good, man. But no, nothing cool has really been happening as far as exciting things.
Did you and Troy go to a concert recently?
Oh, yeah, we did. We went to the West Side Bowl on a Monday. He reached out to me, and there was a band called SOM, S-O-M, that played. I had never heard of them, but Troy knows every good band out there pretty much. And he was like, yo, you want to see these dudes? And I was like, yeah, man, let's go. So we went out there and it was great, man. They were fantastic. Like they were like really technical, mid tempo to slow tempo, like real epic sounding things. And the bass player had this low end thing going on with his bass, and it just like you could just feel it in your chest while they were playing. But then like their singer had like this effect on his voice, dude. They were just check them out. They're really talented. SOM. I don't even know where they're from. Just pronounced Som. So I did that with Troy.
Dean Granger.
Yeah, dude. I just doing some things. I resanded my patio recently and pressure washed that all up, and it looks great. So just been busy. Just been busy doing stuff. How about you?
Been busy myself. I have to apologize to the listeners. I pulled a Fred and I pulled up a YouTube video for this Psalm band, and the audio started playing, so it's gonna show up in the video or in the podcast. I apologize about that, but no, I've been doing pretty well. So it's been kind of I don't know. It's been whatever. The weather's been whatever. We had my hockey team played in our league championship over the weekend. It's a best of 3, so we played Friday and Sunday, and we ended up winning the 2 in a row. So we ended up finishing it off yesterday. But dude, I'm so fucking sore. It's like
I listened to the podcast that you did where you talked about how you were worried the electricity was going to go out while you were ice skating.
Yeah.
I was like, that would have been terrifying if that would have happened.
Yeah. No, that worked out. So we actually ended up winning that game, and it put us in the finals. And so we did that this past weekend, and no electrical issues, but the games were really, really, really brutal, just tough, hard games to play. And on top of that, doing 2 games in 3 days, little bit sore. I got hit in the hand with a puck on Friday. I wear like really heavily armored gloves because I broke my wrist once playing hockey, so I got a really good pair of gloves. But even still, like, it's not broken or anything, but it's crazy. If you look at the back of my hand, the entire back of my hand, like up to my first knuckle on all of my fingers, is black and blue.
Gosh.
But it's not like it was swollen the first day or so after it happened, but now it's like it's totally fine. It's just still, bruises sometimes linger. So it's pretty fun, but it was cool. I mean, we won we hoisted the trophy.
Did you get a trophy?
Yeah. It's a maybe if I think about it when I edit the video, I'll put a picture of me with the trophy in here. But it's like a cup, like a trophy cup. And it's on a wooden, like a hardwood kind of base, and every year when a team wins it, they get a plaque put on the wooden base with all of the people that were on the team that year. And so like we filled the first tier, so they had to add a second tier, and we're like a couple years from filling the second tier, so they're gonna have to add a third tier. And it's been around for like 25 or 27 years, something like that. It's been going. So it's cool to see. I mean, it's it sounds silly because it's like adult fucking beer league rec hockey, but still, it's like, you're a team, you play all year, and you kind of hang out and you compete together, and it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to do, and it's a cool thing to accomplish. So it was pretty fun. So we all we went up to Roth's School Tavern in Meadville after the game and got some pizza and hung out. And they have this pizza that ever since I've been on the team. So I've been on the team for 11 years now, I think it is. We've always gone to Roth's and ordered. They have this pizza there called the Spicy Peter, and I might have talked about it on the podcast before, but it's basically like a pizza with like spicy pickles and banana peppers and like sausage and stuff on it. And
sounds good.
Yeah, and they don't make it officially anymore. So when we got to the bar last night, we're like, can we order a pizza? And Matt, the guy who's our captain, was like, started listing like the things that we wanted on it, and she was like, "Are you guys trying to order a spicy Peter?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so she was like, "I think I have the old recipe in the back. I'll just make you a couple of them." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So
That's what.
yeah, so we were able to do that, and that was fun. Other than that, we went to Sarah and I went to the movies on Saturday to see Project Hail Mary. Because
with Gosling.
Yeah, because we both really liked the book, and so I was curious to see how they would do the movie, because that same author also did The Martian, and the movie they did for The Martian was also pretty good, with Matt Damon. Now, I will say that the Project Hail Mary adaptation, I believe, is much better than the Martian adaptation from that book. It's really good. It's a little long. It's like 2.5 hours long, which is it's a hard.
It's not like a continuation of anything, is it? It's its own story.
It's its own. Yeah, I think that guy, his name's Andy Weir. He's written 3 books, and all of them are self-contained stories. It's not like a. Yeah. So and the book, the movie is really true to the book. So if you see the movie, some of the sections are truncated and they kind of trim the fat, obviously, to make it movie length. But if you see the movie, you're really not missing much from the book, other than maybe a little bit of like you normally get when if you read a book and then you watch a movie, you're like, oh, I imagined it a little bit differently, maybe visually, or maybe
people look different, the world looks different in your head.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ryan Gosling did awesome. I mean, that dude is a fucking hunk, man. I tell you what, and he can play almost anything. And,
I like that guy a lot. I think he's cool.
Right. And it was interesting. I saw a video of him talking about the movie, and I didn't know this, but I guess he produced it. And one of the things that he was talking about was how important it was to just remain faithful to the book, because so many so many movie adaptations, they like try to take liberties with the source material, and then they're like wonder why everyone hates it. So,
get the latest seasons of The Witcher. All right.
Right, exactly. So, but anyway, that was my weekend. We also went out to dinner. We went to Red Lobster, which Sarah and I very rarely eat out anymore. Like almost never. Yeah. I think the last time we ate out was when we were on vacation last year. So
wow.
It's been a long time. Other than like random stops at Sheetz or something. I mean, like actually going out to eat. And I tell you what, man, it seems like every time we go out to eat, I know it's like very few and far between, but it feels like every time we go out to eat, the food is way more expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, it's like if 2 people can't go out and eat at like just a regular restaurant for less than like $60 right now.
Dude, I understand it was Red Lobster, right? But we both had a meal and 1 drink, and our bill without a tip was over $100.
Yeah, jeez.
So there's a reason why we don't eat out very much anymore. But anywho, so yeah, I guess that's really this and that in the personal space. So there wasn't any write-ins this week. We had a write-in from Big Box last week wondering what the hell happened to you. And I had to bite my tongue because I was going to make some snarky remark about how I killed you. And because I wanted to take over the podcast. And but then I was like, have you ever had this happen before where you like think about saying something like that and you're like, but what if Fred actually dies? And somebody listens to this podcast and they're like, oh, he must have done it. And I'm like, oh no. So I did not say that.
That's crazy.
But
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad I'm not dead. So
yeah, for sure. So we could just jump into the Resident Evil talk, because what's interesting is, so I've been playing this game for a couple weeks now, and I've talked about it a bit on the podcast. I think the first time I mentioned it was I had just started it, and I was talking to LJ when he was on a couple weeks ago. And since then, I've played quite a bit more, and I just noticed in the past week, just on the PSN, that you've been playing it, And I'm really glad that you picked it up because this game, I fucking love it. And I really wanted to see what your opinion... Well, first of all, I'm curious how far you've gotten in it, and I want to know how you feel about it so far.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it spoiler-free, but I'm not probably nearly as far as I should be just because I've been busy. But I picked it up because I was just like, I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Sure.
You know, I've been on the podcast. I love the Resident Evil games, and I'm a big advocate for them right now, especially what, they're doing over at Capcom or whoever's making these games anymore. But I was like, these games are usually somewhat digestible, and they're not a huge time suck. And I was like, I'm just going to get it. So I did. I picked it up, and the first thing I'll say is that I'm surprised of the recommendation. We won't go into all the detail. We'll talk about it on the back end, but the recommendation of who is first person and who is third person.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite of what I expected, but for different reasons too, which is weird. I'll say that I kind of the very first scene where you're downtown walking on that sidewalk.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy hell, like this game's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe how good it looked and how interesting it felt. And it was almost to a degree of like a Naughty Dog level scene. Of course you're not really doing a whole lot in the scene, but it's like, wow. Like if they're putting this kind of attention into this, like I don't know what's gonna be coming down the pike. And that, I mean, even though it wasn't even action packed, man, it sucked me in, that first little walk on the city sidewalk. I've never actually played a game where I've been in like a metropolitan area like that, and it translated the way that this did. Like I was really impressed with how realistic it felt. I don't know if that's weird or if you felt the same, but there was something about it that was like, this feels next gen to me.
Yeah.
Even though it was limited a little bit.
You're right. I mean, it is very much a linear kind of like in the box sort of canned moment when you're walking through the streets there. But there is something like the game, even from the opening cutscene when you're in the FBI office and Grace gets called in, you're like, this... They've always been relatively groundbreaking with the RE engine stuff, but something about this game, just like you said, it feels different from a quality perspective. And I am 100% on board with you. And what you were mentioning about the perspectives, like which character is first person and which character is third person, I was just immediately, when the game starts and you're Grace and you're in first person and you're just like, oh, this makes sense. And it makes even more sense once you get into the hotel and it's, you're like, okay, because we talked about this before the game came out when we were still doing the show together regularly about how, maybe it makes more sense to do the action shit in first person because it's more like a shooter, and then the third person stuff would be more the survival horror shit.
You have more situational awareness in third person because you could like peek corners and hide easier. Yeah.
And to be fair, you can switch it to make it that way, but I think what they recommend is the best way. I mean, in first person, doing that survival horror stuff is just is so engrossing. I just really appreciated it.
Yeah. So, but to your thing, I got into it. I've played. The story kind of cuts back and forth. Right now, at least, it's cutting back and forth for me between whatever his name is, Leon and Grace.
Yep.
And I'm okay with it. I also, though, kind of like haven't gone super far. I haven't looked up any of the help or anything for the puzzles at all.
Sure.
I I've gotten. How do I put this without spoiling
It's not.
anything?
It's not a spoiler to say how many of the quartzes have you got? Quartz crystals have you gotten?
I got them all.
Okay, you did get them all. So have you left? Have you gone through the door yet?
No, I fell. I fell
Oh,
down.
I know where you're at. I know you're at. Yep.
Okay, so I fell down,
Yep.
and I think I have all the crystals, but I have to get back to the door somehow. Maybe.
Right. Yep. So you're in the basement part now.
Yeah, so I'm in this part where I'm getting power cores.
Right. The butt plugs or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at. Yep, doing that, and it's kind of. I have them all now. I have everything I needed down there. I'm just trying to. I've stopped at the typewriter one last time, and I think I'm gonna get past that part. That's exactly where I'm at. But it's been a few days since I played it, unfortunately. But that's where I'm at. So I've been enjoying it, and I think I heard you talk about how you were surprised how you like Grace's parts a little better, and I will agree. I think that I'm still not sure how to use. I'm still not sure how to use the hand weapons. Like in the game, there's a chainsaw you can pick up, and like there's some other things as Leon you can pick up, and then as Grace you can pick up like a screwdriver or some sort of sharp knife, and you can scrap those things or you can have them on your person. But anytime like a zombie gets me, I'm not sure what buttons I need to be pushing to defend myself. Or am I jamming R2? Am I pressing L1? I'm for some reason that hasn't connected yet with me. So I just try to avoid getting grabbed by those things.
Yeah, it's interesting because depending on the situation, it either presents you with like mashing the X button or pressing R2 to use like a knife or some kind of melee attack to counter whatever zombie is attacking you. And I think it has to do with one, whether or not you. What's that?
What it just has to do with like what weapons you have, right? What you have equipped,
and also if, like, for example, if it's a zombie, if they attack you from behind, you don't have an option to use like a weapon even if you have one. So it's only whenever they attack you from the front that you have the option to be able to do that. So it is a little bit confusing at times, but from what I've gathered, it's like if you're running past one of them and they grab you from behind, you can't attack them. You have to just mash X. But if you attack them from the front and they grab you, as long as you have a weapon, you can use it. But the other thing that's interesting in this game, I don't remember this being a thing in other games, is that if you use one of those knives, sometimes it'll get stuck in the zombie and you lose it until you kill them and you have to pick it back up, which I don't remember that being a thing before. So I don't know if that's something that you've encountered or not either.
No, I haven't picked anything back up that I'm aware of. I don't know. The whole game is kind of interesting to me. The mechanics, like I like everything about it so far, but I'm not sure if I love the combat in the melee and stuff. And the Leon parts are really violent, which is cool. You know, there's a lot of blood and guts, and that's kind of neat. But it's also kind of like one of those things where I guess I'm losing track of what I'm trying to explain. But I think that is it 30 frames a second or 60?
Depends which mode you have it in. Like
what modes are there?
I think there's at least like a quality and a performance mode. And I think when you're in performance mode, it's at 60, or at least it targets 60. It might slow down occasionally depending on what situation you're in. But if you kept it in quality mode, it might be 30 frames a second.
That might be part of my problem because I'm having a really difficult time with the gunplay and aiming. I've tried to adjust like the sensitivities and stuff, and it just feels like there's some sort of lag or like input lag or something. I don't know if it's I haven't adjusted any of the quality or whatever. I looked and I couldn't find anything. I went to like video and I went to gameplay and I just couldn't find where it indicated. But that might be part of my issue also.
Well, one of the things I will mention, because it kind of maybe is in line with what you're saying, and assuming like your TV is set up right and everything, and you're on game mode and all that, like all the the basic things, but like the game, especially in first person, is, I feel like they designed it to be a little more clumsy to try and make it immersive. Like it's one thing if you like press the stick and it takes a second for Grace to move or Leon to move, but if it just if everything just feels clumsy with the controls, I kind of struggled with that a little bit at first too, and I've realized that you just kind of have to get used to it and take your time with it. But we could be talking about two different things. I'm not sure. And one of the things you can do if it really bugs you is that there are different levels of aim assist you can use. By default, it's completely off. There's no assistance whatsoever.
Okay.
And they have like a mode where you can do like a semi aim assist where like if you're really close, it'll just like snap to the enemy. Or they have like really aggressive aim assist if you're like just horrible. Like right now, I'm on my second playthrough at the moment.
Jeez.
Because I'm just like, I beat it on normal with no aim assist, no nothing. I just went through and just whatever the default settings are for the game, I went through and beat it. The only thing I changed is I put it on performance mode and I changed to the look conversion. And it's pretty like, you know, you have to take care of your resources. You have to be careful of how you aim, blah, 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 blah. But on my, like, I started the game over because I wanted to, like, do some of the challenges. Because they have, like, these challenges where you can get points and then you can unlock things like infinite ammo and, like, all this other weird stuff. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really have anything else I want to play right now, and I really enjoyed this game, so I kind of want to just jump back in and just put it on easy mode and like just get the rest of the collectibles. And there's this really obscure puzzle that they call the final puzzle, and you have to do all this weird shit to unlock it. And I was like, oh, that might be kind of cool to do. And so I just put it on easy. And by default, when you're on easy, it turns on that like semi-snap mode, and it between that and being on easy, like it makes the game like fucking comically easy. After playing it through the hard way, playing it like that, it's just I'm just blasting through the fucking game. But so if it's one of those things where it's like I'm glad they put all that accessibility stuff in there, because for me it's like, bro, I'm not a pro gamer. I don't give a shit. You know, I would much rather somebody play this game with auto aim on or play it on easy and get the experience and kind of get the enjoyment than like not play it because they're like, oh, it's too hard for me, or because it does. So I will say that like the second time through, you also don't have all the spookies, right? The first time you play it, you're like, oh, this is fucking spooky. And you're constantly like hiding and creeping around, especially like on the sections where you're worried about something jumping out at you or whatever. Like, especially in the section you're at right now, it's like the whole time you're down there, you're worried something is going to happen.
Oh, and, the entire time.
Right. And like, but like the second time through after you've done it once, and then especially if you turn the difficulty down, you're just like running around like a fucking moron and just going through it. So it's interesting. And Resident Evil games have always been this way. Like, I don't know if you remember Resident Evil 2, the remake. You played that, right? I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So did you play, like, the game has, you could play as Leon and you can play as Jill, and there are two different campaigns. They overlap and there are, like, different kind of things, but in order to play the whole game, or in order to experience the whole thing, you really should play as both, like, do both campaigns. And then on top of that, they always have, like, the challenge for doing it in a speed run, challenge for doing it on this super insane difficulty, and blah, 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 blah. So it's always been a thing with the Resident Evil games for there to be multiple playthroughs and some arcadey stuff. The one thing that they didn't do in this one, and hopefully this isn't really a spoiler, but they don't like rank you at the end. Like I don't remember if they did this in Village or not, but like on 2 Remake, when you beat the game, it gave you like a rank. Like this is what your aim percentage was, like your hit percentage for shooting. You know, this is how many healing items you use. This is how many saves you did. And it amalgamated all of that together to give you like a rank for your run. And they don't have that in this, which is a little bit of a bummer, but everything else is still there. So,
Yeah.
But dude, the Leon stuff, you're pretty close to switching back. So basically everything up until where you're at right now, most of it has been Grace. Yeah, you do switch over to Leon for a little bit here and there,
Right.
but it's generally been mostly Grace. And you're going to get to a point where, and this is, sorry if this is a minor spoiler, the table kind of flips where then you're playing as mostly Leon and then it goes to Grace a little bit here and there. And I think they did a really good job of blending the action third-person stuff of like a Resident Evil 4 with like the new style first-person spookiness of something like a Resident Evil 7 or not so, Village is a little bit more action-packed, but like 7 specifically, when you're in the bayou and the with that creepy family and everything, and like how it was very spooky and like it was.
Yeah, you're in that house.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I remember when that game came out, everyone was so skeptical of the first person, and it just turned out amazing. And I think that Grace's sections in this game are very indicative of that. And,
well, what do you think about the head bobble when you walk? Because is that too extreme for you? Because like at first it was jarring, but now I like it.
Like I said, I think a lot of this stuff, like the way that she moves and how clumsy it is, and she's like stumbling, and there's a lot of sway and shit like that. And I think it's all designed for the immersion. And I was with you at first, where like when I first started the game, I'm like, this feels weird. And then after the first couple hours, I'm like, I was just in love with it. And the whole experience, and that I think was just part of it. So, yeah, I think it's cool. I haven't played, so I've thought about maybe loading it up and trying to switch the perspectives, like with Grace and Leon, just seeing, you know, what it's like to play Leon in first person, because it gets so, especially when you get further into the game, the action shit with Leon gets fucking crazy. So I'm like, would this be fun in first person even? Because like if you've played the like Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4, you know that like he gets like a machine gun and you unlock like an RPG and like all this crazy shit that really isn't like conducive to sneaking around inside of a mansion. And so it's pretty interesting, but I do really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. I'm not sure that I'm 100% following the story, but I like the villain right now. I like what they're doing. You know, I think that didn't Resident Evil 8 have DLC where you could play as Grace Ashcroft? Or is that someone else that you play as? That was the other story. That was a different story.
It wasn't Grace, it was the daughter of Ethan Winters.
Yeah, what was her name? I thought it was great.
Yeah, Eve. Yeah, now I don't.
She had, like special powers.
Yeah, she was like fucking. She was like psionic, had like psionic abilities or whatever.
It's a weird one.
I never played that.
Yeah, I did. It was good. It was fun, man. I think they're all good, but yeah, to your point, man, they're just knocking it out again. And I don't know that this is my favorite of the newer ones yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to end up being on my top 3 list, but it's definitely it definitely does not suck, and it's definitely good. You know what I mean? It's like one of those games. Like, this is a good game. This is a really good game.
Yeah.
Well worth the $70. But they've been doing so well.
They have.
It's just like I don't know where to put it in a ranking because it's really well made, and I've not had any glitches. I've not had any technical difficulty, short of just like a little bit of a input lag, which I think is really just a matter of me adjusting some settings a little better. But
Yeah, I think I
man,
had to. I think now that you say that, I think I had to tweak the control curve for like the look
okay,
motion. Because you can go in there and there's different curves for like how the look like acceleration works, and I did dick with that a little bit. I don't remember what I ended up on, but you could try tweaking that some. But I'm 100% with you. I'm playing through it a second time, so I really, really like it. It's arguably up there with the best of them, in my opinion. I was talking to LJ when I was talking to LJ a couple weeks ago. I realized as I was talking to him that I've played every mainline Resident Evil game except for 6. So
they're so.
yeah, I was like, I was thinking like, oh, I haven't played that many Resident Evil games, because I was like, oh, I've never played Revelations, I've never played Resident Evil 0, I've never played Code Veronica, blah 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 blah. But then I'm like, but if you think about the main lines, like I've played all of the numbered Resident Evil games except for 6, so I'm not like a newbie at Resident Evil games. And
Right.
I will say that this one is probably up there for me with something like a 2 or a 4, or maybe even like, I think it could probably be every bit as good as 7 or 8 for sure.
Yeah. See, seven is towards the top for me.
Yeah, I know you really liked that one. Well, you played it in VR too, which I think helped you out quite a bit.
It was my first full-fledged VR game. I never played it before on a flat screen. I just went into 7 with the VR headset, and it changed my life.
Yeah,
so that one, for that reason.
The one thing that 7 could have done better is a little bit more enemy variety. Because you remember all the enemies were like those black blobby things?
Yeah.
And the one thing, and that's something else we could touch on with Requiem, is the zombies in the fucking hospital are so cool. Because they all are like they still have like some human shit going on. Where like you like when you're sneaking around and there's like the one zombie that's like pissed about turning the lights on and off, and it's like sitting there like turning the lights on and off. Or you've got the freaking chef that's like back there still like making dinner, and then that
chef part was really hard, by the way. I had a real hard time getting around him without him seeing me. So I guess I do take it back. I did look up how to get around him because I didn't have like any ammo or anything. And it's like as soon as he sees you, it's almost game over.
Did you know, maybe you found this when you looked it up, but did you know that once you get the hemolytic injectors, it just takes one of those to kill him?
Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah.
I got him eventually, but yeah, those things are pretty OP.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, especially, they're almost better than, but I think they do a good job of balancing, like, should I make pistol ammo or should I make these injectors? And, because there's only so much blood that you can suck off the floor. And you've got to decide what you want to do with it. And especially when you get the empty injectors and you can choose to make the steroids or the stabilizers. I think that the stabilizers actually do a lot. Like they increase your pistol damage and they make your aim a lot steadier. So it makes it a little bit easier to like headshot enemies as Grace. But yeah, it's cool. And then once you like Leon, obviously, once you get further in the game, he has a lot more. There's a lot more shit starts happening with like his armory and how his crafting works and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's a really great game, and I'm super pumped about it. I love that Rhodes Care Center. I think it's an awesome backdrop for a Resident Evil game. I love how it's like almost two different levels. You've got like the one side, which is like administration, and then you've got the other side, which is like the hospital part, and they have like different kind of enemies and stuff going on. I love like the big freaky fucking creatures that attack you occasionally. Especially that, like, you know,
the one in the attic.
The one in the attic. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's freaky, and like they did such a good job with all of the, like, I was marveling the other day at just the animations for shit, like when you're running around as Leon, like how the weapon that he has slung over his back, how they animate, how it like kind of bounces around while he's running and going up and down ladders and stuff. And
yeah, it's not rigid. It doesn't look like it's
real good. And so yeah, they did an amazing job with it. I the only like audio visual complaint I have with the entire game is every time I would go up and down a ladder with Leon, there was like this really loud slapping sound, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized it's his hands when he's grabbing onto the rungs of the ladder, when he's going up and down. But they have the audio, it might just be my sound system, but they have the audio mixed where that sound of his hands slapping on the rungs is just super fucking loud. So like,
he's got brass knuckles.
Yeah, it's just like he gets on a ladder and it's like slap, 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 slap. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But it's so cool. So yeah, I'm actually I'm considering going for the platinum in it. Actually, it's gonna be the only thing that I'm not really sure about is there's two things that are gonna be really difficult. One is you have to beat the game in under 4 hours, which is difficult. And then one of them is you have to beat it on the insane difficulty. But the thing is that I think after this playthrough, I will be able to unlock infinite ammo, which I believe will allow me to just, without abandon, use the Requiem pistol, just fucking murdering shit. So
yeah, dude, that is something that's awesome, is that pistol.
Right. So my kind of thought process is like, well, I could just run around everything for doing the speed run. I could just run around everything, and everything I can't run around, I could just basically one-shot it on easy mode with the Requiem pistol. And then the other thing is like and then when it comes to the insane mode, I can just kind of take my time and use that pistol to kill things, and maybe, you know, I unlock something else, like maybe one of the later shotguns in the game that are really powerful or something. But that pistol is just, as soon as you upgrade it all the way as Leon, like it's fucking just, you just one shot like everybody. And the grenades are actually really good too in this game. I don't know if you've gotten any grenades yet. I don't remember when they show up. They might not show up until the second part of the game, but there are certain sections where it's just like, you get into a pickle and you just like throw a grenade and it just totally saves your ass because you can kill a bunch of enemies with it. But yeah, dude, have you picked up a chainsaw yet?
Yeah, dude, and it sucks when you, like, it drops and it starts spinning around.
It starts hitting you, and you gotta wait for it to stop and pick it up. Yeah.
Enemies can pick it up too. It's not like one enemy, it's dedicated to one bad guy, and you kill that guy, and no one else can pick it up. Like, any of them can pick it up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, the only other thing really about it, and we can move on a little bit because I can't stay on too much longer. But dude, I think like, to give the listeners an idea of what that Requiem pistol is like, it's like you're playing Call of Duty with a pistol, and you don't have access to any other weapons. But there's one guy in the map that has a shotgun that one shot kills everybody, and he has like 4 bullets. He has 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like in Resident. Like, you have the pistol the majority of the game, but then you have this ammo in this Requiem pistol that is just gonna decimate people with one pull of the trigger, multiple enemies even.
Yeah.
But you kind of like don't. It's like when you have like the really good spells in Final Fantasy, but there are like the really good potions that you don't want to use because you're afraid you're never going to find them again.
Mm.
It's like you just kind of get real protective of using that gun. And you're like, I don't know, should I use it? I don't know. And then you just end up not doing it. That's me at least right now.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like the golden gun in GoldenEye, if you remember that. It was like one-shot kills. Yeah. But the thing is that the ammo is really scarce, like you said. So unless you're like wasting all of your resources to craft ammo for that gun, I think the whole time you play as Grace when she has it, you might find like 6 bullets for that thing. Yeah. So it's really limited. So when I was Grace, I think I only ever used it if I was trying to kill like a boss or something like that. I don't think I ever used it unless I was really, really in a pickle. But yeah. So anyway, so that's Resident Evil Requiem, a game that I highly recommend, and it sounds like Fred, at least so far, recommends it. Yeah. And just so you know, Fred, because you're still playing it the first time through, it took me, my first playthrough took, according to the game clock, it was 14 hours.
Wow. So, okay. So still pretty early on.
Yeah. So even the section that you're at right now, I mean, you're around halfway through the game. It seemed like, but they do that thing sometimes in Resident Evil games where it's like, you think you're getting to the end and then there's like a new phase. So like, you know, cause like I said, it switches where now you're playing a lot as Leon and Grace kind of intermingles. So, hopefully I didn't spoil anything for you, but like, just so you're not like, how long is this fucking game? I just wanted to give you, and to be clear, I think that is a really good length of time for a game. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't want, especially you're spending $70 on a game, something that's 10 to 15 hours for your first playthrough, but it's like solid, awesome experience. I'll take that any day of the week, especially something like this that is replayable if you want to do like the challenge stuff and, you know, all that other stuff. So,
especially for anything that's like, you know, 130 hours to complete or something. It's just
right. Like, speaking of 130 hours, have you looked at Crimson Desert at all?
No, it looks cool, but I haven't.
Yeah, so
I'm just gonna wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 and The Witcher 4.
Yeah, so apparently that game is like 130 hours long. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, man, this game looks cool. But then I'm like, I don't want to pull the trigger on it because I know like right now they're they're patching it a bunch and stuff because it's really early. And the other thing too is just like, I just preemptively get fatigued on like starting a game like this. And, you know, I'm just really enjoying just the no nonsense nature of the Resident Evil game where it's like, yeah, I'll be done in a little bit. And it's action packed and it's very I don't want to say it's on rails, but it's kind of on rails. You know, it's very linear. And,
for sure.
You know, I don't get this analysis paralysis of like, where the fuck do I go now? And all of this stuff. So, yeah, I was pretty interested in that. So, well, Fred, we're at a point right now where I don't know if you want to stick around and talk about a couple news points before we go, or if you just want to jump off, or I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I would love to stick around, man, but I think I'm going to take you up on it. And, I'm probably going to head out for a little bit here. Okay. I'll be back. I don't know if it's going to be next episode or the one after, but I'm not gone for good. I'll be back, listeners. Jake, you know that. Thanks for holding down the fort. Man, it means a lot that you stepped up and did all this stuff. I just, you know me, man. I love this podcast. This was just something that I needed some time. So
yeah, no, I've been enjoying it. Learning how to do all the stuff and like making the thumbnails has been kind of fun. And I don't know if you've seen any of the thumbnails I've made. They're all kind of stupid, but I've seen them. But yeah. So you know, and to be honest with you, like if it wasn't for like Chat GPT and shit makes this stuff so much easier. Like it still takes time, right? You still have to like edit the video, you still have to upload everything, make all the posts, do all that stuff. But it does help out a lot when it comes to things like making summaries and helping, like doing the thumbnails and like and all that kind of stuff, which is it goes a long way. But it's been kind of cool. And even like the solo episodes have been kind of fun, just like coming up with new like things to just talk about that are a little bit easier to do on my own. Like last week I did like games for 20 that are coming out this year that I'm interested in. And so, you know, next week if I don't have another guest on, maybe I'll come up with something new for next week too. So it's been fun way to kind of stretch my brain a little bit for the podcast. So don't worry, take your time coming back, and we'll keep shit going until you're ready to jump back on the boat.
If I get the Mac working, maybe we can do one on Monday the way we normally do. If I don't know, I might have to buy another one. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I've been struggling with it now for it's like 12 years old, 10, 12 years old probably at this point. Nah, maybe like 9, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I'll let you get back to the listeners, man. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll be back another time. Thanks, Jake, for carrying the banner. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm just going to hang up the call now. Appreciate you.
Yep. See you, man. Have a good night.
All right. Yep. Peace.
Okay. So now it's just me. Fred's gone. His likeness, his extremely accurate likeness is still in the video if you're watching the video. But he is no longer on this call in audio format. So I'm gonna just kind of close out this podcast. I'm gonna scoot through a few news points here that I wanted to talk about. Nothing really crazy. I just wanted to kind of chat about a couple things, and we'll see this podcast come to a close. So the first thing is apparently there's been some correspondence with the guys at Insomniac about when we're going to hear more about Marvel's Wolverine. And the game is slated for a September 15th, 2026 launch date, but we haven't really seen a whole lot about the game other than that initial reveal trailer that we got. I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was it the State of Play? Or not State of Play. Game Awards, I think it was. So we haven't seen much since then, and they did say it would be sometime in spring or whatever. And there was a couple of Twitter interactions that have been kind of called out, and someone had messaged Insomniac and was like, "Hey, first day of spring is tomorrow. Are we still seeing more info on Wolverine?" And Insomniac responded, "Yes, during 2026 spring." And someone was asking about pre-orders, and they responded, "We want to show you more of the game first." So spring is obviously 3 months long, if you're being literal, and it happens very quickly here. So we shall see when we see more. I think they're probably going to end up doing a state of play on it. And I know Push Square notes that there was a state of play in early June of 2025, and there was one towards the end of 2024. So it's entirely possible that they will do a state of play in or around early June, and we might see this as part of it, or maybe they'll do a dedicated state of play for this game that will be outside of their normal mid-year state of play. But we know that that's going to be coming, and I look forward to it because Insomniac makes good games, and I highly doubt this game is going to be bad, and I look forward to it. So we'll see what they say. The next couple things are some news points about Crimson Desert. Obviously, Fred and I just got done briefly talking about Crimson Desert and our excitement levels for it. And it looks like they have actually started patching the game, which is good because there's a lot of complaints about the way that the controls feel, and there's some sluggishness in all of the maybe like some input lag kind of feelings, especially on I believe it was the performance mode that they were having issues with. And it seems like they have they have patched the game, and now it seems to improve the responsiveness and kind of addressed some of those concerns that players have had about the game so far. And the other thing about Crimson Desert is that this isn't a patch related thing, but apparently performance mode is pretty bad from a visual perspective. And I've been watching a lot of footage on Crimson Desert because I'm so intrigued by the game. Even though it's gotten like mid reviews, I say mid, I mean like in the 70s. It's weird because some of them are low, like 6s, and some of them are high, like 8s, 9s. So this is not like a case of everyone's putting it in the 70s. This is a case of like everybody has wildly differing opinions and they're just settling in the C range. And so I have no reason to believe that this game probably is really great for some people and just not good for other people. And to be honest with you, the game looks like something that I'm really interested in, especially all of the combat looks crazy. You could do all these like crazy wrestling moves and shit that just look super fun. But I am intimidated by the size of it, and I could see myself not even finishing this game, but maybe enjoying playing it. So, in the course of watching the videos and some reviews and all this other stuff, I have seen that the performance mode does look a little bit blurry on the base PS5. And so if you want to play it at between 30 and 60 frames, because it isn't a locked 60, it's like up to 60, targeting 60 frames. And the frame rate bounces around a lot. The draw distance gets a little muddy. The visuals get a little bit blurry from the upscaling. So what I've read is that if you've got a base PS5, you're better off like playing it on quality mode, getting a locked 30, and then having just better visuals. And so I think if I play the game, that's the way that I'm probably going to do it. But we'll see. I'm not 100% locked in to buying this game quite yet. I'm still running around in Resident Evil Requiem, and we'll have to see. Maybe something else will come out that will change my mind about what I want to play next. That mouse PI for Hire game comes out. Pragmata comes out. Saros comes out. Now, these are all next month, so it's not like I've got anything immediately apparent that I need to watch out for. But that's a big game, so do I want to jump into it and then have something else I want to play in a few weeks? So, because I could conceivably, if I started that game now, I could conceivably play that game all the way until 007 First Light comes out on May 27th, if it is truly 130 hours long. And so that's a long time to be playing the same game over and over again. So we'll have to see. But for now, those are the news points that I've recently heard about the game, and I just wanted to kind of put them forward because I'm very interested in it, and I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. Just a couple more news points here. One is Housemarque just put out a video explaining some of the progression in Saros and comparing it to their previous entry in Returnal, and explaining how in Saros there's going to be a little bit more difficulty. I don't want to say difficulty tweaking. I think they call it like more of a gameplay tweak to kind of tailor the experience to where you want your difficulty to be. And I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before, how they have this system where you apply modifiers to the gameplay, where they have this like this gauge where it's like it's either too easy or too hard, and if it's in the middle, then it allows you to accept, I guess, all of the modifiers that you've put on. Some of the modifiers make certain parts of the game easier. Others make certain parts of the game harder. So you kind of have to apply them with a balance that allows you to play the game in a way that you would like or that suits you, while overall the experience isn't sacrificed in terms of like general difficulty, if that makes any sense. So like, for example, if you've got people that really struggle with, I'm just making shit up here, right? So maybe they struggle with ammo and they're like, I want the game to give me 50% more ammo. But if I only turn that on, it won't let me apply it because the game's now too quote unquote easy. So I also have to apply a modifier that's like, well, I get 10% less money from the bad guys. And I'm just using general terms here, right? I don't know the specific terms that they use in Saros or even the exact modifiers that they will have. But it's like, okay, I get 50% more ammo, but I get 10% or 20% less resources from the enemies in terms of money or whatever. So using those two things, it balances out, and I'm allowed to play the game that way. So the game generally is the same amount of difficult, but for someone like me who just generally struggles with my ability to aim the fucking gun, the game will give me more ammo, and so I won't be handicapped in that way like I normally would be if the game was rigid in how it defined its difficulty. So it's a pretty interesting thing. I highly recommend people go watch this video if they're interested in how the progression is going to work. And there is, I believe there's also like actual progression where you can apply like experience to your dude and give him some semi, some permanent upgrades or whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and claim to be an expert on it. But it does seem to be a lot more customizable than Returnal, which was very roguelike, where it was like you die, you wake up, nothing, you have nothing. You start over from the beginning. You start the dungeon crawl over again. The map is completely new. You have none of your weapons. You have, there's all your health upgrades are gone. So it is kind of cool that they are evolving the model for this entry. And I apologize if the lighting is getting weird on this video because the sun's going down and I forgot to turn the light on in this room. So it's just the ring light on my camera that's illuminating me right now. So if it gets moody, that's why. I think I look very good right now. So maybe I'll record in the dark in the future. Where was I at? Gran Turismo 7 is apparently a huge inspiration for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. As we found, I think it was last year, they announced Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was coming to PlayStation, which is cool. The Flight Simulator games are fucking impressive as hell. But they are for a certain type of people, right? Not everyone wants to get and fly a plane realistically across the country in real time. But one of the cool things that they announced, the thing that actually made my ears perk up, was that there was going to be PSVR 2 support. And they announced the developer, I think it's Asobo, I think is the name of the developer, announced that a huge inspiration for them was Gran Turismo 7 and its PSVR 2 mode, which is honestly unparalleled in terms of experiences in PSVR 2 in VR technology, in VR experiences, in terms of what I've played. Obviously I'm biased because I'm a racing fan and I love the idea of driving around a track in a car and all this stuff, and it's very engaging. I wish I had a racing wheel. Maybe I can borrow Fred's sometime because I'd love to try that out. But it's really, really great. And they said that they were inspired by that to do Flight Simulator, and so now you can fly these planes, you can simulate flying these planes in VR. And I think it's going to be cool. It's supposed to release sometime here soon. I think they announced early 2026. But I don't know if they've ever given an exact release date. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the other thing that they did mention is that all of the cockpits and all of the planes have been tailored to work specifically with PSVR 2. Now, probably only when you're playing with PSVR 2. I can't imagine they've changed it in the flat screen mode, but they have tailored them so that the experience is that much better in VR. And so if this game ever goes on sale, because I'm not going to pay full price for it. Let's just be honest with you. I love the occasional VR experience. I still throw the headset on occasionally to play Beat Saber or Gran Turismo, but I'm not going to buy Flight Simulator at full price just to sit there in VR for a couple hours flying a plane from, State College, Pennsylvania to Harrisonburg, Virginia, or something. I don't know. But if it does go on sale, even if it's down to like $30-$40, I would be definitely interested in trying it out, because I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before, but I've always been super interested in planes. It was something I was obsessed with when I was a kid. When I would go visit my grandparents, over the summer for because they lived in Florida at the time, we used to always go to the library, and I would have I would go with my grandfather, who was interested in flying too. He got his pilot's license when he retired, but we would go to the library and just rent like VHS tapes on basically like documentaries and shit on like warplanes. And I would literally we would sit there and just watch videos about like fighter jets and stuff like that. And we would rent movies like Iron Eagle and shit like that, which were just, kind of like Top Gun and stuff, where it was very, the vehicle for the story was like fighter jets. I was always super into that. I did my my senior project in high school on a career exploration in aviation, where I went to Embry-Riddle University in Daytona and went up in a couple of flight lessons and did all this stuff. So always been interested in flying. That was a little bit of a tangent, but needless to say, I'm interested in this game in VR. So I'm excited to see how that pans out. And the last news point I have here is Mark Cerny has recently had sort of like a weird Twitter exchange with the lead dude from AMD, or one of the lead dudes from AMD, about how I think Cerny was he was doing something like he was like talking about how good FSR looks now, which FSR, for those that don't know, if you've heard of DLSS, you've probably seen the memes online of DLSS 5 and Grace looking all freaking, like glammed up with DLSS and how everyone's making fun of it and everything. Well, AMD came out and was like, check out FSR, which is AMD's version of DLSS. And it's none of that AI glamification shit that DLSS 5 is doing. It's just the upresing that PSSR does. That DLSS does. Except it's obviously the AMD version. Well, apparently that technology, or that neural network or language model or whatever the hell it is, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to this stuff, it was co-developed between Sony and AMD, and it is being used in both the FSR for AMD's PC side stuff and also PSSR, which is being used on the PlayStation hardware, especially with, I think, PSSR 2 just came out for the PS5 Pro. And they were just talking, it was just this really weird, like, kind of scripted exchange on Twitter where Cerny was like, oh, look how, like, FSR looks great. Did you guys know that it's the same neural network that drives PSSR? And then the guy from AMD was like, oh man, I'm so excited to work with Sony on blah, 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 blah. But the highlight of this whole exchange was that it seems like Mark Cerny is trending towards wanting to continue to break ground improving visuals, continuing with PS6. And I don't really have much to say to that other than I think the visuals in video games are already pretty good. So if this technology at bare minimum, the visuals stay the same, but the frame rates just get way better, I'm 100% okay with it. Obviously, it's like if I see something that's mind-blowing, I'm like, okay, this is really cool and I'm into it. But I'm not going to sit here and say that like I'm 100% convinced that the PS6 has to have that, because we're at like, it's like an exponential thing, right? So now we're at the point where without this AI stuff, which it does seem to be helping, but without it, a slight improvement in graphics now means huge load on the hardware. So even for the graphics to look a little bit better, the PlayStation hardware has to be way more powerful. And you can even notice it from like the shift between PS3 with The Last of Us going into PS4. It's like for a PS4 game that looks a little bit better than The Last of Us, that console had to be way more powerful than the PS3. Obviously, there's optimization and all this other shit going on that helps improve those things. But yeah, so I'm very curious about how this is going to play out. I'm always excited for new hardware, so I can't wait to see what's up next. But for me, it's like, give me 4K, give me at least 60 hertz on everything. I don't even know if my TV will do 120 hertz. It might. I have no idea. But as long as it's stable, I don't care. And make it not be $1,000. That'd be cool too. That's really what I care about. So that is all I have for the news today. And that's all we have for the podcast. I hope everyone was stoked to have Fred back on the show for about 45, 50 minutes to chat with us about life and Resident Evil and stuff. And hopefully he'll be back on soon. Sorry you video viewers couldn't see his lovely face, but he is having computer trouble, so he actually called in on his phone, which is interesting. We didn't know until today that you could do that, call in on a Discord call with your cell phone, but he was able to do that, and I was glad to have him back. So hopefully he'll be back soon. In the meantime, we'll keep holding down the fort. Everybody stay safe out there. In the meantime, like Tekken, Tenchu, and Tentacular, P.S. This is awesome.